What is going on? I am back, and so is the UFC. With 324 this week, Paddy Pimbletts versus Justin Gaethje. And as much as I think we're all wanting to take Paddy Pimbletts on this, we all think he's going to win, and he should honestly win at this point in his career. I am a little bit worried, and I'm a little bit concerned, and I'm going to show you guys why. We have a video here from Tom Aspinall where he traveled to the gym to train with Paddy Pimbletts or to see how his training camp was going. And instead of that, I feel like we got a lot of weird moments from Paddy Pimbletts. We have, him beefing with everyone from Hooker to Arman Sarukian to Michael Chandler, who he's already beaten, to Cyril Gahn, to just mentioning everyone. It feels like this guy has got all of the details and all of the dirt on every single UFC fighter, not just in his division. And also, we've seen him very much overlook Justin Gaethje to a point where I'm a little bit concerned in my pick of Paddy Pimbletts. I'm a little bit worried that he doesn't see the threat that Justin Gaethje really is. So let's go back. Let's go over to this video. Let's break it down for you guys. We're going to start here with about 4 minutes in. This was Aspinall's video, so the first 4 minutes was kind of him just arriving at the gym and talking about a couple of things.
Yeah, I wanted to be on that, but Gaethje said no because it weren't a title fight.
So he's talking about Gaethje and how Gaethje only wants to fight for belts. We already know about this.
So now, obviously, it's a title fight. He said, yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? He's just after a title, isn't he then? Yeah, no, fair play though. He's done enough, hasn't he? He's done a lot, but
It's going to be our last one to retire.
Talks about retiring Gaethje. He's already announcing Gaethje's retirement for him.
Yeah. Oh, he's a little ass.
Asked about Arman.
It's great, lad. It's great. He's great to laugh at Arman, lad.
Yeah.
He's just one of them, lad. He thinks because his family have got money and he's been had everything handed to a plate on him for years. Oh, it'll just happen in the UFC. Lad, you're being told that he pulled out that Islam fight with a bad back. And
he has the right opinions, and I agree with him on the bad back situation. I agree that he is a wee bit spoiled in Arman, but I feel like Arman's kind of redeeming himself with a lot of clips that are going around at the moment. And it feels like you guys are going to see. It's not just Arman. It feels like Paddy has a very strong opinion on a lot of people.
He just couldn't make weight. And then he got offered to fight Gamrot and said no. And then took the most favourable matchup possible, Dan Hooker, who can't grapple to save his ma's life.
Dan Hooker, who can't grapple to save his ma's life. So this was obviously shot before he came out and said the infamous Dan Hooker couldn't grapple a rapist off his mum. So it wasn't just one comment from Paddy Pimbletts. Any interview Paddy gets, and I ask you guys, I singled this one out for other reasons, but go and watch Paddy Pimbletts' interviews over the past week and the ones that are going to come out in the future. I'm predicting this. He cannot stop talking about Arman Sarukian. I know he was asked about Arman Sarukian, but he can't, instead of just skipping over him and saying, the guy didn't get a title shot, he feels the need to mention he's a spoiled rich kid, mention the back thing and how bullshit that was, mention how close the fight was with Dan Hooker, this close guillotine that he goes on to talk about here. Dan Hooker never really had him in a compromising situation. I think Arman was in control of all of that fight. And he also can't help but mention how bad, instead of saying how bad Dan Hooker's grappling is, he always finds the need to mention an analogy to do with Dan Hooker needing to defend his mum. Fucking Dan Hooker couldn't grapple a rapist off his mum. He couldn't he couldn't grapple to save his mum's life. No matter what, Paddy Pimbletts feels the need to tell you about Dan Hooker's grappling and the fact that he couldn't save his mum in a certain situation. So I now understand why Dan Hooker's been crashing out. This isn't just one clip.
He looked good though, didn't he? He looked good in that fight.
But lad, an amateur and he could look good against Dan Hooker.
I feel like we're kind of underestimating Dan Hooker here. Dan Hooker might not have the best grappling in the lightweight division, but an amateur in Paddy's gym looking good against Dan Hooker, I think that's a stretch.
You know what I mean? Someone in here who can actually do jiu-jitsu would look good against Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker doesn't know how to do jiu-jitsu. He's a banger. Give him his due, lad. I like watching him fight. He's a scrapper. That's all he is. He can't do jiu-jitsu, lad. He's bad at jit, and he nearly guillotined him. That just shows how bad Arman's grappling is to me.
I don't know if he nearly guillotined him. Dan Hooker has a good guillotine, but I don't think there was ever a point where any of us were thinking, Arman might tap here. So I disagree with that. And I think a lot of him downplaying Hooker's skills is just to, or shitting on Hooker's skills is to downplay Arman's win. He wants to keep justifying why it's him versus, Gaethje rather than him versus Arman or Arman versus Gaethje.
Me?
Guillotine.
He had him in a guillotine, he had an arm and flexibility got around it.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I was watching that thinking, wow, if I get you in a guillotine, you are going unconscious. Because he's not getting out of that if I put him in one. You know what I mean? So I just watched it and was like, wow. Everyone was going on how good he looked. I didn't think he looked that good. And he headbutted him at the weigh-in.
He did look good, but he did headbutt him at the weigh-ins. That's a fair enough point.
If he would have cut him there on his forward, lad, he was getting cut, therefore. He wasn't staying in the UFC if he was ruining 2 main events. Especially in a new country they've never visited before. It was more than a little headbutt, lad.
Full on.
Shows what a he is though, and he's scared. So why would you headbutt someone on the way-in, lad?
I don't think it was that bad if he hit, to be fair.
I just don't like him anyway. I've always thought he's a piece of
I don't fucking like him. I've always thought he's a piece. Paddy has some very strong opinions on people. We're not done yet.
I think I ate him more than Ilya now, lad.
How's the weight going? You look a lot leaner last time I seen you.
They go on to talk about when they last seen each other, but I had to include this clip just to show you guys that, go watch this video for yourself. Aspinall arrives at the place, drives there, does his little promo. There is a guru mention. Instantly, Paddy Pimbletts kind of just all he wants to say about Gaethje is, Gaethje wanted to fight for the belt. They very briefly cover Gaethje. We will come back to Gaethje in this video, but instantly we get 2 minutes. Well, we get a minute on Arman, we get a minute on Hooker, then we get a little segment at the end on Ilia Topuria. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett has more beef than a fucking meatball at this point. And I'm not referencing Molly here. I'm just saying this guy has issues with so many people in the UFC. It's not even funny. And it's funny to see a little gossip session between him and Tom Aspinall here. But we're going to move on to another moment. 750. Let's get here.
I feel good then.
I believe
so you got
I'm
nice,
talking about Justin Gaethje. So.
That nice little throw before.
Yeah.
Nice. So Aspinall talking about nice little judo throw there from Paddy Pimbletts. Fucking, referencing, hey, like, you got good wrestling, you got some good takedowns. I hope to see that.
It's mad, lad. Obviously, he's a striker and everyone goes on about his striker. I've just got the maddest feeling. I want to knock him out. Like you would, Popovich.
He's very, very confident, and it's not just this interview, guys. I've been seeing a lot where Paddy Pimbletts really does think he's going to go out there and KO Gaethje. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I think Paddy's kicks are highly underrated, but this is concerning me. This is worrying me. I saw another interview where he's talking about how, Oliveira finished Gaethje in a round, and I need to beat that if I want to be, a bit as good as guys like Oliveira, and I want to be the champion. I want to beat him quicker than Oliveira did. That was the exact dialogue we were hearing from him in the Jared Gordon fight. This is what this is seeming. This reminds me of the Jared Gordon fight. I'm having flashbacks to the Jared Gordon fight where he's supposed to go in there and completely destroy this guy, and he leaves his chin up in the air and gets cracked. And if he leaves his chin up to get cracked by Gaethje, we know what's going to happen. Gaethje's good, man. Gaethje's coming off the Fiziev win, or the Fiziev win. He's not as bad and as washed as a lot of us think. So, that's what he said about the Jared Gordon fight. Jared Gordon fucking got finished in a round by Oliveira, so if I want to be champ, I need to do that. He's now saying the same thing about Oliveira in a different interview, but just like he keeps talking.
Yeah, got a mad feeling. I want to knock his ass out, lad.
I think you can.
I know for a fact if I take him down, I'm going to finish him within 5 minutes, easy. Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be as easy as he thinks. And I get you have to be confident. I do get that, but for someone that believes in Paddy and is putting money on Paddy and is picking Paddy, I'm starting to get a little nervous here that maybe Gaethje's taking this a bit more seriously. And there's some more evidence for this coming up, so keep watching.
He never really grapples, does he, that much?
No.
Not that I've seen anyway.
Even when his last fight, when he got on top of Fiziev, he just sat in half guard and threw a few punches and then stood back up. I seen a thing he said in an interview the other day, I've been working on my jiu-jitsu, I might submit him. I'm sitting here thinking, please try and submit me. That'd be so funny. Just even shoot a takedown, lad, and I'll submit you.
Like, is Gaethje really that bad on the ground? I know he's not as clearly. Paddy has the advantage there, but it almost seems like Paddy's just completely overlooking Gaethje. Laughing about if he ever tried to shoot on him, or laughing about his ground game. He'll destroy him in 5 minutes. It's easy. He doesn't have to worry about it. Hell, I'm having dreams I'm going to knock him out on the feet. I might as well just stay standing with the guy. It's like, this is Justin Gaethje at the end of the day. All right, Pimblett beat washed up Ferguson, washed up Chandler. You can argue that Gaethje beat prime Ferguson and prime Chandler. If maybe not prime Chandler, but definitely a better version of Chandler, you know. Gaethje's fights and his losses, as much as we want to look at them, you know, and say what Gaethje's washed and he's old, his wins are a lot better than Paddy's, who's coming off old Chandler, old Bobby Green, old Ferguson, a loss to Jared Gordon. You know, let's not act like Paddy Pimbletts blazed through the fucking division here and made anybody look easy, other than washed up Chandler.
I barely hit fight day.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I eat quite a bit, don't I?
I'm always like...
I'm sitting in the back, lad, eating chicken wraps and that, lad, before I go out.
I usually feel
like, you know, and this is the Paddy that everyone knows, the undisciplined Paddy. Yes, he's in shape. Yes, apparently he's having a great cut this week and he's the lightest he's ever been. But he's talking about eating chicken wraps before he goes out. I was eating fucking chicken wraps before I even fucking fought Chandler. It's like you're eating chicken wraps in the back. Do you think Gaethje's doing that? He's warming up. This is Gaethje's last chance, man. Paddy needs to be fully locked in if he wants to perform in this fight. Like, I'm starting to get a little concerned. And maybe it's just my fault for watching so many interviews and almost looking for negative things that Paddy Pimblett's saying that I don't like. Because, you know, I know that I'm putting money on him this weekend, but there's a lot stacking up, man. He's caught up in a lot of beefs. He's overlooking Gaethje. This is not a good sign. This is Jared Gordon fucking deja vu written all over it.
So used to fair. I'm literally sitting there. Last time Rim had a chicken wrap from Whole Foods. I just started eating.
Goes on about the chicken wrap. We're going to move ahead to another point in the video where he has thoughts on someone else.
not anymore, mate.
I would have said, you dirty, horrible, big
You know what I mean? Like, this is about Cyril Gahn. There's more.
Dirty, cheap I would have got well more swear words out of that there, me, lad.
I'm not sure what we're drinking here either. Like, let me know if you live in the UK. This to me looks like an unhealthy energy drink of some sort. You know, in your training camp. You don't have to be perfect, but this doesn't look like water to me. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is some vitamin boosting drink, you know, that is just water in a fucking can. But these are all little signs, man, that I'm like, this guy's eating chicken sandwiches before he goes out and fights. He's drinking whatever he wants in his fucking fight camp.
White belt.
He's beefing with literally everyone in the UFC. Now he's got thoughts on Cyril Gahn.
And white belt.
Yeah, what I said, lad, wash your fingernails, you scruffy. I never used to mind Cyril Gahn, man. You know what I mean? I used to like enjoy watching him fight. But then when you watch his fights now, like, the amount of times he hits people in the back of the head, kicks people in the balls, pokes people.
I must admit, a lot of these takes he's not wrong on. He's not wrong, but it's just, I feel like this video was supposed to be put out to be like, you know, training with Paddy Pimblett, an inside look of Paddy Pimblett's gym. Oh, he's wrestling. And I get they can't show the game plan and show a lot of footage, but it felt like just a meet up for your mate at the pub for a beer, and they're just shit talking every one of their opponents or everyone they've come into contact with in the UFC. Paddy Pimblett does not hold back on people. So we got the Cyril Gahn now.
That's just it's not like an accident when you do it that many times.
Right, 3 times he did it in one round.
I know. As I say, when I was sitting there watching, I'm saying to him, lad, surely he should have had a point by now. You know what I mean? Because
taking a point, we fast forward to another point in the video, which has kind of been going viral on Twitter. You know, this is Paddy Pimblett, disciplined Paddy Pimblett in training camp, and have a look at this.
14s, no red cards.
I can't really spar a little goals on.
Let me just have a cheeky hit of the vape. You know, like,
Can't really spar a little.
No care in the world, no worry that this is on camera, and maybe Espinal's team like weren't supposed to chuck this in, or maybe Paddy just doesn't give a fuck. Maybe he's Carlos Prates maxing and smokes whatever he wants and goes out there and gets the job done. I'm not saying he's going to lose to Gaethje. I'm not saying he's fucked, but I am saying these are all signs that look, you know, you want to look into things other than just their past fights. This has me a little bit worried. Vaping in camp, drinking whatever he wants, eating whatever he wants, beefing with literally everybody, barely even focusing on Justin Gaethje. We've all seen the headlines for the interviews coming out this weekend. It's been fuck Armin. It's been Dan Hooker and his mum. It's been, you know, Cyril Gahn's now a dirty, scrubby cunt. And this is, you know, this guy has, it seems we're getting very little information on Paddy versus Gaethje. And when it comes to Gaethje, There is no one else. There is no Armin talk. There is no Dan Hooker talk. It's how are you going to beat Paddy? This is your last shot at the title. Are you going to do it? Like Justin Gaethje seems dialed in, man, and I'm not sure that Paddy Pimbletts is. You know, we'll go to our last moment here. We're nearly done showing all of the Paddy Pimbletts shit, but there is some training throughout this as well. I'm not just trying to say that he's not in shape or he's not putting any effort in, but this is Paddy's biggest fight of his career by a long shot. And I'm a little bit concerned that it doesn't look like he's at that championship mentality yet.
What you do? You're going to have to show me how to do that properly. It's naughty.
Like Chandler. Chandler's a proper nice.
Now we're on Chandler. A random cut. No one brought Chandler up. Like fucking Chandler. Chandler's a nice guy.
Nice fella, but in the cage he's a dirty
Chandler, is he doing a few dirties as well?
I'm seeing him out of punches in the back of the head, Chandler does. Know what I mean? Back of the...
Once again, we know, we have seen this and he's not in the wrong, but it's just weird that this is taking the center point of the video and the center point of all the interviews I've been seeing throughout the week. Is what's Paddy... Feels like, get that Paddy Pimbletts guy in for an interview. He'll talk shit on whoever. We'll find out all the details. You know, Dan Hooker can't save his mum from being raped. Chandler's the dirtiest fighter. Cyril Gane's a dirty fuck that needs to scrub his fingernails. You know, Armin Sarukian shit, and he only beat Dan Hooker because that's an easy fight, and he needs to fucking... He doesn't deserve the title shot, and he's a rich, spoiled kid. Poirier's a bitch. Like, this guy has thoughts on literally everyone. Then you ask him about Justin Gaethje, and it's either... I'm going to KO him and retire him, or it's, man, let's not even talk about Gaethje. Not a big deal.
Yeah, punches all Lannon, who goes miles. Tried to do that to Poirier, didn't he? And he bit him. Yeah, because he tried to do that. Yeah, he volleyed me in the balls. Yeah. Right up the middle. It was the most blatant one ever. I went to kick him and he just went up the middle, off. Like he said, he tried to cheat me.
But that's basically all I have for you guys. It's just Paddy Pimbletts, a lot of the same shit, a lot of going after people. There wasn't too much more that happened here. He kind of, in this clip here, I won't even play it, but he kind of goes on about how, you know, Luke Riley only got a bonus because he vouched for him, and he went back and he told Hunter, like, hey, he deserves a bonus. And Hunter said, you know, you're right, Paddy, you've convinced me. And he comes across to me as very... You know, I don't want to say fake or anything like that, but he does seem like a bit of a gossip queen. I'm not going to lie, you know? And it reminds me of a time I think a lot of us forgot where he was saying, hey, I'm not going to come on your show, Ariel, because I'm a big superstar and you're not paying me to come on, before he'd even beaten Jared Gordon. So I'm a little bit worried about Paddy. I'm a little bit worried about putting my money on Paddy. But we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, I do think he beats Justin Gaethje. I just hope he's focused. I just hope he's actually putting in the effort. I hope he's not too concerned with the beef of all these other guys. I hope he's not, you know, having his chicken sandwiches out back and hitting the vape whenever he wants and drinking all sorts of different energy drinks. I hope this guy's dialed in because this is the biggest title fight of his life. And I promise him, well, you know, it's not as I feel like as if I'm speaking to him, but I promise you, Justin Gaethje will be dialed in. So if you're someone that's sitting on that 50-50 fence, not knowing who to take, I'm probably going to take Paddy Pimbletts. I do think he is the better fighter. But chucking some money on an underdog Gaethje may not be a wrong idea here. This has Jared Gordon versus Paddy Pimbletts vibes written all over it. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for tuning in.